All right, well, the article begins by telling us department managers often have to deal with budgets they consider too low. So yes, we're talking about people who work in companies. Managers, as we mentioned yesterday, and management are kind of the bosses, the people who make the decision, who make the plans, who make sure the company is going well. And basically balancing and managing and keeping the money situation healthy is one of the biggest important jobs of a manager. But yes, manager, noun, it's basically a boss, all right? The manager of a store basically just works in the store, makes sure the employees are doing their job, the store opens on time, there's enough things to buy, all the customers are happy. Fairly simple being a manager of a store or something like that, but if you're the manager of a big company, well, you could be managing many people, hundreds or even thousands of people, and the manager's decisions in that case could be worth billions of dollars, could lead to the success or the failure of the company. So they make the decisions, they lead the company, they're the captain of the ship, basically. The manager of the store helped the customer and answered her questions. This is what managers would do in a retail business.
Exactly. So, managers have to work with low budgets. What we see here, the article goes on, however, the important thing is, well, presumably not to complain about your low budget and ask for more.
You do that for a few seconds.
Yeah, the important thing is to make the best use of the money you have. To make the best use of something is to do the most with what you have. So it means being very smart and very efficient with it. Now here in this sentence we mean not wasting money. Make the best of your budget, your money, by being clever with it, making sure you don't spend more than you have to in order to get all the various stuff done. We could also talk about making the best use of time or your days, like make the best use of the good weather means don't sit inside, you go outside and enjoy it. Making the best use of time would be doing something useful with that time, not just maybe watching TV or something. We try and get all the things we want to do done in the short amount of time we have and not wasting any time and so on.
You're being efficient.
Exactly.
All right. And here we get back to the article. It says the following, or what comes next, the following are some brief tips regarding budgeting that you'll find in our course. So here we are reading the brochure. This is
could be the brochure.
Kind of thing that that Rick and Carrie will be studying. And yes, so one of the reasons to take a course or to talk to someone with a lot of experience in a certain area is to get tips. This noun is basically helpful advice, helpful and or useful advice. If you know someone who has a lot of experience in, well, anything basically, you might say, I don't know a lot about this, but you do. Can you give me some tips? Now, they won't go on to a 5-day speech about the whole history of the thing you're talking about and everything you need to know. No, they kind of boil it down to the 5, 10, whatever, most important things. These are the ones that are the easiest to remember, the most important, and will be the most useful for you. For example, this cookbook is full of tips on how to be a better chef. So a lot of useful information that I can use today as I cook.
Yeah, I think the using today is a key part. Tips are practical.
Practical.
They tell you what to do. Don't give you too much theory about it, but it's more like do this, don't do this.
Be efficient.
Exactly. Let's get on to some of these tips then. Some are mentioned in the brochure. We see, first, don't spend more money than you have. That's pretty obvious. And also, make sure you're making a profit.
Okay, so don't waste my money and make sure that if money goes out, money comes in too.
So here we use the phrasal verb make sure, okay? Make sure you're making a profit. If you make sure of something, you are certain that something has happened. You make sure it has happened, you are certain that it's done, either because you've done it yourself or you've personally seen it being done, or you've checked that it's been done. It's all about being kind of hands-on and not just relying on hoping it happens or other people telling you. If you make sure, you know for 100%, either because you did it or you saw it being done. So here we're saying make sure your business makes a profit.
Yes, this is very important for businesses, making a profit. Profit is a noun. Basically, profit is the money that's left over after you pay for all the things the business needs. So if my business sells a certain number of things, that's great, but all of that money that I made selling those things is not profit. I still have to pay the workers, I have to pay all the bills, I have to pay the rent, I have to buy more things so that I can sell stuff tomorrow. Once I've paid for all that, then what's left over is my profit. If I sell something for 100 NT, but it costs me 80 NT to sell that thing, for all of those different reasons, my profit would be the 20 NT that's left over, and that's not bad, and then I can save that profit and use that in the future to expand my business, to give people more money, whatever. But if your company is not making any profit, then you're going to go out of business eventually.
For example, the restaurant closed because it wasn't making a profit.
There you go. They were
Something
losing
like that.
money. They weren't making money, so of course the business failed.
Yeah,
and what happens if you don't make money or don't make a profit?
Well, that's it. You're done, basically. And
Yes.
it can happen easily. As we see in the next sentence, you can run out of money quickly if you're not careful. To run out of something means you use up all of something you have so that you don't have any more. You could run out of salt or pepper or rice for cooking, and then it's like, oh, I need to go to the supermarket. If you run out of toilet paper, then that's like the worst thing that can ever happen to a person. So always make sure you have plenty. Run out of money just means you spend all you have and you don't have any more to use. So how can we avoid all this?
Well, it says keep track of all the money you spend, from production costs to workers' pay and company meals. This is part of the budget that we were talking about yesterday, right? This will keep track of all the money, both the money that comes in from selling things or from doing your business, but also the money that goes out for all of those different costs. And it's important to not just sort of notice it, but to keep track of it. This phrase, keep track of something, means to pay attention to something, to follow it. Don't just sort of say, yeah, I think we spent a little bit of money today. No, exactly how much did you spend? Know it, write it down, and research it down to the last dollar, because that last dollar could be very, very important.
Now, some of these costs we mentioned, we talked about paying the workers, we talked about paying for the food they eat,
Right.
and we talked about production.
Yes.
Production means the making of things. So it could be making goods in a factory. You are producing, that's the verb, to produce. You are doing production in the factory. You could also, production could mean just smaller things you're doing yourself. You know, you make a chair, that's production. Production costs means how much it costs to make all the things your factory ends up selling. So this could include a few of the things that Mike mentioned. This could be cost of materials to make the stuff. It could be how much to pay for the machines you need, and maintain them. It could be the electricity used to run the factory. Anything that goes into making your product, this is a production cost, because it's all associated with production or making things.
There you go. Next, it says you can look ahead to the future. So once you know how your business is doing now, you can look ahead, or you can start to think about and plan for the future. Because of course, businesses don't just worry about making money today, but making money next week, next month, next year. If you want to have a healthy business, you have to plan into the future or look ahead to the future.
For example, you likely have several projects or products you're considering. So yeah, in the future you might think, okay, we've got some products, these are just things, new things you want to make, but also projects. Some people say projects, project, it's basically the same, and it is an individual task or a group task or a set of tasks that is carefully planned in order to achieve a particular aim. For example, this company, our company, could have a project to make a new English language book. You could have a project to fix the roof of a building. You could have a company that has a project to launch a new kind of shampoo. All of these take a lot of different parts of a task. They've got to be planned from start to finish. That all is a project from start to end of all the different things. Here's an example sentence. The project was a big success and ended up making the company a lot of money. So yeah, you might be considering, okay, we could do this, we could launch this, we could do a project about this. You're probably thinking or considering all of them.
That's right, but you'll probably have more ideas than money to actually do them all. So the article says it's also likely that you don't have enough money for all of them, so pick the ones that you feel will be most successful. In the same way that we don't have all the time in the world to do everything we would want to do, we have to choose the ones that would be most successful, the ones we're most passionate about, the ones we've researched and we think, yeah, this one could be really good. Not that, hey, in my dreams, this could be great. Well, maybe that one won't be the most successful. So look at the money you have and then choose carefully how to spend that money.
Yeah, but how would you know which of your projects or products is going to be the most successful?
Flip a coin.
That's a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
There's a tip in the article. It says this, and here this means choosing the most successful project, could require market studies. So looking at what else is selling well in the market.
Research.
A look at past successes and failures. So what has worked before? What didn't work? Why? And also business instinct. We'll talk about instinct in just a moment. First, we're going to look at the verb require. This idea of choosing your products could require any of these methods. If something requires something, it needs that thing. It is necessary. You can't not do it, okay? If you talk about making stir-fried chicken, you require chicken.
You do require chicken.
You can't do it without the chicken or oil.
And fire.
Yeah, and heat, exactly. You require all of those things, otherwise it's impossible.
So I can't make stir-fried chicken with water and paper and
Absolutely
shoes?
not. You require chicken, fire, oil, and probably some nice tasting stuff.
At least.
Here's another example. Plants require water and sunlight to grow.
Oh,
Without
okay.
those two things and maybe a few other bits, it's not going to happen. So, there you go. You require maybe market research and checking out your successes and failures.
That's right. And success is basically a noun that means achieving your goals, doing what you planned to do. If you set out to do something, if you planned to do something, you said, I'm going to do this, and after all the work and all the time goes by, you do it, that is success. If you worked really hard on a test and said, I'm going to get 100, and then you go and do the test and you get 100, then you achieved success. We could also use the adjective, you were successful. If you're successful, it means you reached the target or the goal that you set. For example, if you study harder, you'll have more success on your exams. Maybe you won't get 100 on all of them, but you'll get a better grade than you're getting now.
Yes, success can just be uncountable, the general idea of doing well and getting what you want.
Yep.
We can also use it as a countable noun. We've had several successes. That means several different things that all went well.
Several goals that we all met. They
Yeah.
could be different goals, but they were all successful.
So there we go. We've looked at markets, sort of checking the markets,
Yes.
successes and failures, and then just going on business instinct.
This one's a little bit harder because
To
you can
explain.
study the other ones, you can research the other ones. Instinct, it comes from inside.
Yeah, instinct is a person's natural abilities, something you have without any teaching. You don't learn it, it's just in you. Animals' instincts might be to run, to fight, to hunt, and so on. Human instincts are basically to eat, find shelter, and make babies. That's what's kind of in our blood. It's like our DNA instructions. Business instincts are just natural feelings for what deals or what projects or ideas feel good or not, which you believe will work or won't, kind of based on your gut or your experience, just your feelings. Those will work. That's your business instinct.
Yeah, it's hard to teach business instinct. Some people are born with it, but a lot of people develop develop it over time. It's like experience or wisdom or something like that. So don't think that you have to be born with it, like some amazing superpower, but it's just paying attention and thinking about things and noticing things. Next we read, you'll learn more tips like these in AMC's Budgeting for Managers course, so sign up for it today. This is the way the brochure would end its information and its sort of sales pitch. They've given you all the information, they've told you how useful it is. Now they're asking you to sign up today. This phrasal verb, to sign up, basically means to formally join something. You haven't just said, yeah, I'll do that. No, you've probably gone to a website or found a piece of paper at the school or wherever. You've written your name down, your phone number. They've gotten in touch. You might have paid your money already, but basically you've joined up in some kind of formal way, often involving some paperwork and your ID or something like that.
Filling out a form.
Filling out a form. We would sign up for a gym. We would sign up for a holiday or a
class.
tour. Something like that. You don't just show up and say, I'm here, where do I sit? No, you have to let them know in advance that you're going and do a little bit of work like that.
Okay, well, if you want to sign up for that course or any course like that, go and check it out. But we're now going to move to today's For You Chat question.